t-shirt, now red, my bloody nose sleeping. You're on your tippy toes, creeping around like no one knows. Think you're so criminal. Bruises on both my knees for you. Don't say thank you or please. I do what I want when I'm wanting to. So cynical. I'm a bad guy. Duh. I'm a bad guy. So you're a tough guy, like you're really rough guy. Just can't get enough guy, just always so buff guy. I'm that bad type, make your mama sad type, make your girlfriend mad type, and seduce your dad type.
Hello. How is everybody doing? Happy Monday, happy Derry Day for the last time. It's a little bittersweet. We are here to talk about the final episode. Let me just go on because I see the mess already. Thank you so much, Jane, for the super chat. Tyra, I'm already suspicious of that title. I hope you ain't coming in hating on this amazing finale. Whatever. You know I am. There's always hatred to be had, if that's what you want to call it. Ashley, how are you feeling? Are you ready to get into Derry?
I am. I'm ready to get into all of it. I enjoyed the finale. Yes, I'm ready to get into it.
There's a stretch. There's some elastic in enjoyment and underwhelming. Underwhelming doesn't mean that I didn't like it. This just means, certain things that I wasn't a fan. Thank you so much to Marcus for the super chat. Who is more dangerous, Pennywise or Candyman? Ashley?
Joe, Penny. I think Penny, just because I'll say anybody can get it from Penny. I think it's the mental games. I think it's the playfulness. I think it's like the joy that Penny takes that would do it for me. And so for that reason, I'm gonna go over there with Penny.
I'm gonna say, baby, at least Candyman had the nerve to kind of at least pretend to lurk in the shadows. Penny wilding all outside. Dangerous man, absolutely dangerous man. Actually, starting where we always start. Overall thoughts of this season finale.
Okay, as a finale to, a premiere season of a brand new show, I thought this was a really strong finale. I think kind of inserting itself in a universe without having true source material to carry us through. I thought they did a really great job linking it back to the It movies, setting up the next season. I enjoyed Pennywise drop kicking that principal's head, Tyra. I enjoyed seeing my baby Richie. There was so much good with the episode that I can disregard those first 15 minutes because honestly, that's where my criticism lies. The journey with Precious, the journey with the dragon glass pissed me off to no limit. But I feel like, that's what we needed. We're dealing with babies. That's what we had to do to get there. But I feel like the ending of the episode, the Easter egg with Bev, I enjoyed all of that. And that more than made up for my little slight criticism of the journey with the dragon glass.
I mean, I was a little underwhelmed, if y'all couldn't tell by the title of the video. I was a little underwhelmed. I appreciated the tie-ins. The series overall has been very concise and considerate of the source material, as well as what they've done on their own with the movies. I feel like they've done a good job. We didn't go in the directions here that I felt like we were going to go with our characters. And some things visually, I just could not get past to really enjoy the episode the way that I wanted to. And some characters that took a little precedent here, I just was like, why we here? Why she here? Why she here? Why are we here with this person in this way when I thought we were going to be here with somebody else? But overall, it was not a bad episode. I just expected a little bit more in different directions. But let me get this super chat before we go any further. Thank you so much. I'm glad I made it to this discussion. We're glad too. We are glad too. We are ecstatic.
And another thing, all the Black people survived. And I'm even though I could have stood to see Hank out of there, I wasn't mad at Black people living to see another day, Tyra. I can never be mad at it.
Yeah. It was just a lot of convenience here. Let's just get there. Let's start here. Was this a part of your first 20 minutes that you were like, or you say
You
first
know,
15 minutes?
You know, I'm not a huge gore to gore. The enjoyment that I got was the first time, I think, seeing Pennywise at this stature. We've normally seen him in really close proximity, and he's never
Mhm.
looked this gargantuan. He looked
No.
like a giant up there on the stage, and I loved how Penny looked this episode. I love the bloodstained bottom half of his face. I thought Penny looked great. The principal, the puppet, the putting on the show, creepy as hell, and I actually did enjoy that. I think this is kind of the fullness of, Penny at his height, and I enjoyed him over here. I thought it was cool, the deadlights with the kids. I'm obsessed with the deadlights. When he opens his mouth and we go in there, but just the idea that he was so strong is kind of what stood out to me. I'm like, you
Mhm.
was barely, teetering on the edge, and now that you've got a little bit of freedom, you're able to do the most. I thought it was terrifying. All the upper class you can go. And then I was like, are we going into the mist? I mean, the whole town is now, and now we're finally getting to see the full of everything. We finally got to see what we saw in the super trailer before the season aired, the weird grins on people's faces. Everyone
Mhm.
officially now is under the spell. And I was kind of here for it. Now, did I know where we were going with it? I didn't, but I loved seeing him like this.
I really enjoyed this bloody masterpiece. It was great. This was great. You know, I'm always here for some grit, some blood, some carnage, some eye gouging. First of all, Penny is bold in these streets. I don't know. I'm questioning everything we know. We have never seen Pennywise, aka Bob, roll up on any of the kids like this. I'm like, well, damn, if we rolled up on the Lucky Seven with this type of energy, would they have really stood a chance to take you out? He is on 10. I really love the costuming choice here to give some dimension from the Pennywise that we're used to seeing in at least the movies from this type of perspective in this blood soaked red tinted costume. That was such a great choice. And I agree with you. I was like, I got to go back and watch the movies. I have never really been all up in Bill Skarsgård's face or anything like that, or just his height. But in comparison to those movies, I was like, he looks tiny. What camera or perspective? And not to say that he's a small man, because I think he's pretty tall also. But Pennywise has never looked this big. I don't know if it was a camera choice that they were using before, but he looks gigantic and it's really appealing to the eye. But the stage, the puppet was very dead silence. I loved it. I was like, yeah, she better give me a movie reference. It was very dead silence, and I love the whole running to the doors. It was giving me a little bit of Carrie. I appreciated that. I like this. The only question I had, I really wanted to see what we were doing with the parents. We see, the mist and everything just cascade through the town, and everybody's just kind of cowering or running, and they're just kind of gone. And of course, we have him come in here and do his 1-2, do that little dance, mama like, do that little dance, mama like, and then we hit the kids with the deadlights. But I really wanted to see what we were doing with the parents and what state they were in. Like, were they also in a state of deadlights, or were they just kind of out of capacity, or were they? Because I'm like, you didn't kill everybody. Like, what were they doing when you were, taking all the kids? I just wanted to see that. But other than that, I really enjoyed this opening, and I thought it was great how gruesome Pennywise is. I need him to keep the same energy throughout all the seasons. I like this. The POV of seeing something like the original, like 1990, the Tim Curry, and how funny and kind of charismatic, and we have our little scares, but it's never been anything this harsh. Like Pennywise giving these kids hell, and I really appreciate that. He was scaring the dog mess out of his He's just very unhinged, and I thought that this was a really, really great choice. But I really would love to have seen what the rest of Derry was doing when we had all the kids in our crest. But getting over here, oh, they get on my nerves. They get on my nerves so So much was happening here because we need to save our babies. We care about the babies. We need to save our babies now. First of all, whoever had the bright idea to have Pennywise playing on people's phone doing prank calls, give him a raise. It's been great. It's been great this entire time. But everything is everything, and then we realize after the fact, like our kids are gone. Of course, we have Leroy react first. So my son, I need to save my baby. I need to get to my baby. Just give me my baby. I do whatever I have to do. Like all of a sudden, he father of the year. He's just caring about his whereabouts down. I need to get to Will. I don't know what's going on, but I know that thing has him. We have Doc over here. Dick is tripping out. Dick is on the brink of death. He looked like death turned over twice this episode, about to just die. If not from the impact, but at his own hands, because I'm tired. I can't take anymore. These damn ghosts, they're on my neck. But you have Leroy breathing down his neck. I love how Leroy knocked on the door and he was still trying to like certify his authority. He was like, "You got one more chance. Open this door, Dick." I was like, one more chance or what? You're being held captive as well. Shut up, Leroy. But by the time we, of course, thankfully convinced Doc to put that gun down, he's like, "I'm out of here. I don't give a damn." But Doc love the kids. Doc love the kids. They got Will. They have Will. I'll get up. I'll come help you. We get on down here to the house. Charlotte just hysterics. Oh, you said we were safe. You said we were safe. Out, slap. Slap. I was like, are you sure? The way none of them gave a damn about these kids all season long. Nobody. The both of you left that baby to the wolves. You've been all outside, all about Hank. You've been here doing your duty for your country. And now that he's gone, now all of a sudden it's hell to pay. And we need to get our babies back. Then, old Hank had to chime in. "Oh, is it Ronnie? They got Ronnie? My baby? Not my baby. Where else was your baby going to be, Hank? You didn't know about her damn whereabouts. Y'all didn't give a damn." Fine. I'm going to let it go. At this point, it's about the kids. But they tried it here. All of a sudden, they cared more than they cared the entire season. We get over here with Rose. Rose, I knew I didn't like Rose. I knew I didn't like Rose, and this confirmed why I didn't like her ass from the beginning. First of all, you don't give me no miracle, ritualistic serum or whatever the hell you gave me. Because all of a sudden, I like how Leroy slid over there trying to use Doc for his powers yet again for your own gain. If you could just fix it again and get Will and we could just do something, like, this your fault. Listening to you, I have these things cowering around me now. But I can give you some. I can give you a little elixir to make all that go away. How are you going to give me something and then warn me after the fact, Rose? I was irritated with everybody here. I was irritated that it took us this long to get here in a room. Now all the blacks and everybody can get together. Now we can have a meeting. Now we can talk when there are things to say. We should have been talking and we would have been light years ahead to even get into this situation. But the way Rose gave Dick that goddamn potion and then tried to give him a warning mid roller coaster, Rose, get out my face. Ashley, how did you feel about all this?
Well, let's start right there because Rose is a certified op. She's an op. I'm convinced. I was like, oh, she was a damn sleeper cell. The whole time I thought she was just minding tribal business. But every action outside of losing Taniel, that was sad. Taniel was a real one. But Rose don't mean nobody no good at this point. It's every man for themselves. She gave him that ayahuasca tea and then said, and make sure you don't. Like, what are Rose? Hillary Banks, like, what are you doing? He's already under. You know how fast that damn tea kicked in. Rose pissed me off so bad. Let's go on to the other woman here in the group because Charlotte, out of now, I'm not a Leroy stan. I'm not a Leroy fan. But the one thing you're not going to do is put this squarely on his shoulders, Heffa, because you so worried about Hank. You can't worry about your own children. Like, I don't understand how at this point Will is still left unsupervised to get got. I mean, and I get it. Penny got him. But here's the thing, Charlotte. You can't put this all at Leroy's feet. You had a car. You had free will, baby. Or at least you could have had your son scooped up. Like, Charlotte, let's not pretend. Let's not feign like we cared so much about Will that you have to windmill for 5 minutes because I start blaming you, Leroy. It's your fault, Leroy. I'm convinced Charlotte is just a terrible wife. I didn't want to say it before, but now I maybe believe him when he said, it's all your fault. Everywhere we go, Charlotte, it's on you. Charlotte pissed me off so bad. And then to top it off, Hank, my baby. Hank, if you don't go to hell immediately, sir, that's the one that could have got it. Penny, take him, but Penny don't even want Hank. Nobody wants Hank. Hank is really the true villain here, in my opinion. Put his life, his child, his mama, the black spot, everybody on the line for some elder white cooch. I will never forgive Hank. And then after all of that, you still couldn't sacrifice yourself. You still couldn't spill no blood to try to gain some redemption. You did not a damn thing except scream in the mist. He pissed me off so bad. Let's not pretend like you ever cared about that child. If you cared about that child, you would have kept your dingaling to the black community, okay, in 1962. You know what that meant. That's a death sentence, baby. Every black man in the 50s, 60s, damn near 70s knew if you sling that black dingaling over there with the whites, it's not a good look. You were willing to risk it every time you crawled up into that elder cootie cat. And I'm so disgusted every time I see your flipping face, Hank. I'm so disgusted. But now, outside of that, Dick, he's carrying the weight of the black delegation on his back, Tyra. All right? All the blacks. You know he didn't care for blacks like that, really. You know he didn't care for them, but now he's haunted by them, really because you didn't do enough, Dick, in my opinion. Now, whatever we got to do to get the people back in the box, but he looks so bad. I will say, shout out to this actor, because I did feel a moment of concern and care, a brief. It lasted that quick, but when he was there and he's just being tortured and he's got the blicky and it's like, oh, I can't do it. I really did for a split second fell for him. So shout out to that actor who is playing Dick Halloran, because that was the closest I've ever felt to Dick in any of the movies, shows.
Pause, Ashley. Pause. I love every little outburst. They all came at Leroy though. It was never at a superior too much. He had one little brief moment with Francis. He was like, are you looking okay? Do you think I look okay? How do you think I'm doing? But it wasn't one of them, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Don't ask me nothing. Don't ask me nothing. Leave me alone, Leroy. But I'm going to show up for them kids. Because if it was up to you, I was just going to go take myself out. Thank you so much for the super chat. Pennywise had me crackling with that. Baby, the run was sending me. I said, you that cocky where you going, He could have been on some goddamn rollerblades, some ice skates, something, living his best life. Like, sir, we still on a time crunch. You want to live, don't you? Thank you so much for the super chat. I just don't know any black people who would have stayed in that town. Like, none. No, we're gonna get there, okay? Because Charlotte, the parents made me mad. I could imagine Will's parents as concerned neighbors, but dedicated parents, it's a stretch. Not at all. Not for this visceral reaction we got here. I was like, y'all didn't have this much energy when he could have died in the fire down at the black spot. We almost lost you, didn't we, son? I said, what? That's all you got to say? I just need to get my baby. Don't hurt my son. I'll follow you to the end of days, Pennywise, all about my son. Really, Leroy?
Penny said, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I heard dark meat is sweet. I've been waiting on that. I said, it was so hilarious, but Penny's out of pocket.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Let's get over into my not so favorable things in the episode. Now, this was not bad. We had drops of the Precious. We were calling it the Precious, just being funny because we knew it had some type of powers, but we didn't really have anything confirmed until this episode, and we get Rose pretty much explaining the draw with the dagger and the possession that it has of the person who has it because it wants to go home. So anybody who has it for an extended period of time, you begin to lose your little mind, and we get this behavior from Lily. Now, I thought that this was entertaining. Of course, Margaret said, who not gonna drive this truck? Me. I got it. I'm gonna drive the truck because I was like, where y'all going on this bike? The way it can't be three of y'all on this bike. Y'all go faster if you goddamn walk at this point. But in the midst of getting where we need to go, we have our little accident and we drop it and we have this behavior ensued. We need to get the Precious away from Lily. I expected more from Lily. I did not mind this as a momentary thing, but I thought when the get down actually happened and we have our standoff, break it down type standoff, this was underwhelming for me. I feel like we took so much time putting so much stock in Lily as a character, and we followed her for so long. And we didn't really do a lot of justice at times for a Ronnie or a Marge, or definitely not a Rich. We more so had time with Will, but they kind of took a back seat at times to Lily. So I thought Lily was probably going to be in game in some type of way. And it just felt like at this point she was inconsequential. I was like, we spent all this time with you for what? I thought she was going to represent something, be somebody, be related to someone, have a tie. Oh, I've been using you in this type of way, manipulating your lineage since Kingdom Come. I don't know. Something. It was nothing. It was just, yeah, I just by happenstance got this Precious that saved my life. And now it has this hold on me and my friends. Ronnie has to come remind me how I'm a lifeboat. You're a lifeboat. I was like a lifeboat, an anchor, a brick, if you will. Okay. But all of a sudden, it's just kind of a lift on everything that Lily has done before, good or bad, her obstacles, things that occurred, and now it's just this moment, and I don't feel like we get too much after this. I thought Lily was going to be in game. Ashley, how did you feel about this?
Well, I mean, this portion is very Tolkien-esque. If you're into fantasy, it's very Wheel of Time coded, Robert Jordan Tolkien, all of that, with this idea of a cursed object that, is going to take you over. So I didn't mind that too much. We knew that was what it was going to be with Lily. But as far as her arc, to start there, I think she served her purpose. I think that the big purpose was introducing Kirsch, right? I think she was the vehicle that they used to get Kirsch out there and to kind of set this up as far as the secrets. But I too thought that she was at least going to have a more full conclusion, like a destiny mark. And we really got that from Marge. I was really surprised about the shift in that, because I did think at least we were going to close Lily out one way or the other. I didn't think she was going to die. We know the plot armor's been there for her character the whole time. But usually when they use plot armor that heavy, it is because we need her for a later moment in the show. And here she was just useless. Like, she really was. But like I said, I'll give them credit because she did introduce us to Kirsch and we kind of got that from her. But that's all I can give. What really pissed me off, though, is the fact that we have a group of 3. So that means if one person's going crazy with Precious, that we can jump them. I later felt that way with Will as well. Because why don't we jump you? Like, we're holding on and doing all this. They're not He-Man, woman. Like, they're not the Hulk. We can get what we need to do. But as far as, and another thing, as far as Lily is concerned, I do think she represented white or privilege. I do think that she was the embodiment of privilege here. And even holding on to Precious was kind of, I feel like an allusion to that. She walked in her entitlement, the way that she talked so slick to Ronnie every time she got that, it was like, that's pointed, because even when Will was like, being overcome, it wasn't that. So it's very interesting how it played out with her. I honestly kind of would have liked to see her with it more and kind of had some other experiences with it just to flesh it out. But I mean, we don't have to see her no more. So she served her purpose and now we can be done with her. But I did think they were going to do something else.
I was going to say that with us kind of turning it over to Will later, but it was just briefly, I would have loved to really see her descend and we like be in the middle on whether or not it's really Lily or how much of this is the dagger. I thought it would have been interesting. I just, like, y'all don't realize how much time we spent with Lily. We spent so much. And we in here drawing like fake conclusions. Yeah, you see around the face area, she looked real Kirsch up above the neck. So Kirsch is kind of protecting Lily. She'll serve them other kids up. But see, this is why Lily wasn't there at the black spot, because she has to be protected for some type of reason, because Kirsch has a connection to Pennywise because she thinks it's Bob. No, she's just Lily. She's just Lily.
I was like, oh, it's her daughter that she gave away.
No, you're not. What would have been so great, especially when they were when we get to where we're getting, of course, with Marge, and they're tying in the Lucky Seven and who's mom. If Lily was somebody's, like, all those hints they dropped, I was like, if this could have been Beverly Marsh's mom, this would have been so good. This would have been so good. I don't know what's in the book. I really don't give a damn at this point. From a storytelling standpoint, even how we first met Marge, the relationship kind of with her mom, that kind of little seedy situation, her and the drain, the bathroom, all those like the restroom at the school, so many like Beverly Marsh staples to me. Even her being bullied and kind of outcast, that whole thing. If she would have been little baby Marsh, I could even do something with that. Like to find out that she's nobody. She's nobody. That was disappointing to me. Thank you so much, Dane, for the super chat. Leroy and Dick for the winning. Tara and Ashley. Thank you. If anybody needs support, it's those two. Thank you so much for supporting those guys. Thank you for the super chat. Just dropping in to say hi. Thanks for streaming the show. I enjoyed watching with you all. Thank you. If you are not a part of the Discord, be sure to get in there. We have a good time. But believing this in the precious.
Did you see
let us hold on, let me make
sure. Did you see Jantis?
Let me go back up here. Maybe I missed it. Oh, here we go. Thank you so much, Jantis. I rolled my eyes this entire episode. Also, oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Jantis. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I just wish if it was gonna be this, we really needed to have more stock in somebody like a Marge. Thank you so much. I could okay, we got this one. Okay, thank you. Make sure we scroll back down because y'all they'll disappear on me. Okay, I think we're good. But yeah, anything else on Lily before we go?
No, bye Lily, bye girl.
You're an anchor. We need you. You're the anchor. You're the anchor. Because I don't know why she said lifeboat. I was like, lifeboat where? Now she's the lifeboat? You're the anchor, Lily. You're the brick. You're the rocks that were holding us down and making everybody die. This is where they lost me. This is where the show lost me. I really hated the visuals. And we spent so much time here engrossed in fog and darkness. It's damn near white and blue and midnight hues. It was so unappealing to me. The storyline was just that. I don't expect too much from these kids. They said, we're going to get Will. We have the dagger. We calm down Precious Lily. Let's just go and take him. Forget all the other kids. We're going to try to pull him down. And of course, the bandwagon of Pennywise was hilarious. Him playing the trombone in the piano solo, leading. Like, where the hell are you taking them kids, Pennywise? Them snacks for yo. It was very us. So what you gonna do? Hands across America of children, and you just gonna collect snacks along the way and do what? What is the plan, Penny? But Penny just knew he was making it out. We're making it out the hood with this, but I can take my sweet time and serenade and play instruments. Okay, having the time of his life. But by the time we get to rescuing Will, I really didn't like the way this looked. I was fine with the town in the mist. And actually, I love how you keep mentioning the mist. Have you ever watched the Mist?
Girl, yeah, I've seen that one. I actually saw that in the movie theater. I did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like the Mist. This part, I really didn't like this part. And I think it took away from me really enjoying every single moment that we spent here because we did spend a lot of times here. Now, at some points, it did look visually okay, but for majority of the time, it just was taking me out of the scene because it was just so unappealing to look at for me. Actually, how did you feel about us getting here? Because even us getting here and the kids arriving here, and of course later our parents arrived here in the van, it was just all kind of wonky for me. So between that and the actual visual, I just did not like this very much. Ashley?
You know, they're going to be on their Goonies time, and we're going to have a quest, a never-ending story, and an impossible adventure. I will say, I did like the cascading of the mist over the town when we first saw it. I also like the one picture that you have over there. I thought that looked really beautiful. What I will add is that it was really hard to see. It very much gave Harry Potter Dementors. And it was just, we stayed here so long and it was really hard to see. I don't know if that's what they were going for or if this was like a cinematography issue because we've had good lighting in some other questionable sepia toned, sewer systems before. So I was kind of thrown off a little bit. Like I said, it very much gave Dementors floating in Harry Potter. Did it take me out? That part, I can deal with that. What grinded my gears and tweaked my melons was the fact that this was nonsensical. The point of, okay, baby, we got Will, now you're gonna run it, and no, I can't. I'm stuck. Oh. And like there's three of us and we can't stop this one young man from getting through. That's the part that really, 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 really aggravated me. I thought it was drawn out. I thought that part lasted way too long. But other than that, I mean, I'm fine. I'm glad we got our baby Will back. Forever changed and
I didn't want
altered.
to die. You know, I
But we
didn't want
got
him
him
to
back.
happen to Will. I didn't want that, you know. I didn't want that. I was happy that we got him, but I was like, who chose this? Aesthetically, the show has been great. Pennywise looked fabulous. Okay. He looked good, and maybe this was just to make him stand out more, but just as a visual choice, I was like, choices were made. And I thought it was temporary. I thought once we pulled, you know, the rug from underneath Pennywise and those kids woke up, I thought everything else was going to kind of lift and we would at least get something clear. It was like, no, we're going to stick with this whole time. I was like, okay, guess I got to
Some of
be
the
here for it.
stills were really great that they took. I was like, y'all couldn't have
Yeah.
done that in the video. We got some good stills.
Mm-hmm. But then we get here. Let's kill this fucking clown. So we're going to drop all the little crumbs about this being Richie's mom before you ever get there. I was like, okay, why were we over there with Lily for so long? Why were we over there with Lily for so long? And matter of fact, why did you set up so much ammo towards March for the better half of the show? And honestly, not even just the physical sense, because you know we're gonna get to Rich, but Rich saved Marge and made her more appealing, where it was absolutely nothing. But in the midst of us saving Will, one of us gets snatched. Marge gets snatched, but she's not just a regular snack though. Pennywise takes his sweet time to let us know, I know who you are. I know about that Lucky Seven and that Losers Club. Your little lineage brings me down in the end. I might need to just stop this here now and kill you so Richie, beat Richie, doesn't exist. And I was like, what? We bring this here like you have some sort of agenda. And then I was like, okay, it's not a time travel thing. It's just that this is an all-seeing being, past, present, future, whatever. So he knows the impending doom that's about to happen. I know when I catch my end. But if it was that, and you know that Marge is that one and that mother, why wouldn't we go for Marge even harder than everybody else? Marge was a little unscathed for a minute until we got, you know, the glasses and the eye thing, but there was never really like some intent behind, oh, Marge is that one, I need to get rid of her. And I could say that we were doing the same thing because if we know this as far as Marge, then you know who Will is to Mike. So was that, you know, you trying to double down and cut the head off before anything sprouted and we couldn't even get a Mike to come and take you down? And because Mike is really, really that one who gets the Lucky Seven back together and makes those calls. And he, you know, reading the tales and doing the whole thing in the ritual in the other film. But I'm like, if it was that, your foot should have been on Marge and Will's neck from the get-go. And I'm like, we spent so much time with Lily for what? I don't know. And I was like, it wouldn't have taken anything away. I don't think from the beginning we were like, yep, glasses. That's Richie's mom. We wouldn't have known. I just feel like it was such a disservice to the show to fixate so much on Lily when she really didn't matter. She was the catalyst for some things to occur. But maybe I'm gonna say at least by episode 3, there should have been a break. We don't know anything about Marge. I mean, we know like she's done some distasteful things and she wasn't a great friend. And you know, POP, hold it down, Richie. But other than that, we don't know anything about her. And if she's that tied in to who takes you down, the way I would have been trying to get at her. We should have had more scenes with her. The way that he kept popping up every 5 minutes as Lily's pickle daddy, we should have been doing that to Marge. This just kind of lost me in that way. It was a nice connection and I appreciated it. And of course, Dick kicks in when he needs to and we hit that freeze frame so she gets away with her life. But this is just to let us know that this is running deeper. And if I could have taken you down, that would have been beneficial to me as Pennywise because your son wouldn't exist. Yeah, it doesn't matter here and now when we didn't know anything about it up until this moment. Ashley, how did you feel about this?
You know, I'm not not mad at it. I think we went on a journey with Marge. Now, did we get all of the tea and everything as far as her home life and all of those things and what are her greatest fears? Not in the traditional sense, but I do still think that we saw a lot of it in terms of her need for belonging, like her low self-esteem issues, her willing to sacrifice it all to be accepted and to be liked by the patty cakes, and really an animus grew, at least for me.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand that little, I couldn't
Yeah.
stand Mark. This episode turned the tide for me, and I love that in an arc. That's fine. As far as the Pennywise thing, it almost seemed like as soon as he smelled her, he knew who she was. Like, and I'm really curious about if it had anything to do with them being in close proximity, but also outside of that, finding out that he is an interdimensional being and he exists in all places at all times, then that means he knows that changing this or taking her out doesn't necessarily mean that he will be taken out by the losers later on. He could still do that, remember, because Will is there, right? My only other qualm with it, I think, or idea around Marge and her, whatever's going to happen with her inevitably, I don't know if because she gives this little monologue at the end, right, where she's talking about everything that he told her, and he said, they kill me, but they don't really kill me because when they kill me, I come back to life again, like I'm born again in that moment. So what if they're going to do X, Y, or Z? I think there's more to it than meets the eye than what's on the surface with this. There's something about him as an entity that I think has to let things play out. I'm really curious because we don't know the rules yet about if something changes in the past, what that looks like in the future, or how any of this works. I'm very, very curious how they're going to approach it in the next season, since we're going back in time, and her theory is he's going to try to eliminate someone so that these people are not even born. That's what I'm interested in. I'm really interested in the lore of this. I think it's exciting. I think there's a lot of places to go with it, but when we're kind of getting into going back in time and altering things, it opens up a multiverse of madness. So I'll be interested to see where their heads are at. They say they have it mapped out already for the next 2 seasons, so I don't know. I'm
I
curious.
wanted to see. I'm like, girl, you Richie? I love Richie. Richie's one of my faves. Richie's funny. Like, hi, Marge. Like, girl, what was the personality? You don't get to be all dry and be Richie's mama. But the conversation was definitely like, yeah, y'all get ready for that It Chapter 3. It's like, that's what it felt like. It felt like, after all these movies wrap and you get, season 1, 2, 3, don't think it's over. We're going to be back with It Chapter 3. It felt like we were opening a window for that. And I don't mind that. But I'm like, if it's that, get me into Marge. I feel like we wasted decades over here with Lily for nothing. Or at least you could have split it. I just wanted more stock, being that Richie is so important over there. That's all I'm saying. Or even more feet on Will's neck. I would have been trying to ruin these kids' life even more. I'm not playing with nobody. These the kids that birth the children that take me down. Oh, I'm killing everybody. And clearly we are not above just killing somebody. Talk about a snack for later. No, I would have killed Will and Marge on sight. Thank you so much, Jantis. Justice for Taniel. Child, we about to get to Taniel. Me and my curls. Thank you, pretty girl Danny. So how does Will end up on that stuff if he seemed fine after being kidnapped and caught in the deadlines? The world may never know. And I don't know, let the book people say it, or just the movie folks. They're like, yeah, that was just more so Pennywise trying to play on Mike's memories and intentions or whatever, and Mike was never on some stuff. Will was never on those stuff. Some people say, well, some stuff. I don't know. I know he didn't live past 30 with whatever occurred. Something happened and that fire broke out. Thank you so much, Jay Buggin. Hard-hitting Leroy was the second funniest first swing in Black history, next to Clayface Cuba, Claymation, and the way she was moving looked so odd. She was just so mad at J Bugger, like, not my baby. You said we were safe here. I trusted you to protect who, Charlotte? Absolutely nothing. But I think it's time to go over here where we tan you, I believe. This was nice. I say not Pennywise saying your full government name, Marge. Now this here, I just thought this was so funny. I thought this was so funny because in stopping, because Dick gonna come through and save the children. Dick love the kids. I'm saving you right at the good time because everything's just convenient. Marge got saved just like Lily did when she was in the damn sewer, and I'm like, okay, I don't think in because the Overlook and the Shining, we never really just get a whole bunch of time with Doc. And those are later years. I was like, this is such a great capability. I would love to have like a spinoff just gone. I would watch it. I think there are so many places that we could go with Doc and him just transitioning, learning his powers more, all the way till we get to, old guy down at the Overlook. This was great. But baby, Pennywise playing around with the folks. You say, who is Bob? My name ain't Bob. My name Pennywise. Get that straight. Not just slapping people and pulling off masks and face like, It's like I feel like it's some Black of the Berry up under there. This ain't that white man, and my name ain't Bob Ho. I just couldn't. That was really funny, and I like the fact, of course, that Dick was doing the best he could. I can only hold up this facade for so long. It was held up enough to keep him kind of entranced. But the fact that we could even do that to a being like Pennywise, I'm like, Doc is way more powerful than we know, or that was suggested to us via the Overlook. This is a little bit more than that, and I would love to explore that in a different way beyond the show. Actually, how did you feel about this and Doc playing in Pennywise's face?
This was so fun. It was the black hands on a white body for me. Really? I was like, okay, black hands, they go hard. I said, not you slapped them. All right. That was cute. It was funny. It was a moment. And we've said that since the beginning. Dick, The Shining actually needs its own. I would love for it to center around Abra with Dick there. Like, I think my girl Abra deserves the series, in my opinion. But of course, we need the wisdom, right? Of Dick. So in whatever way they could incorporate that, we do need more of him. The Shining is so interesting, and the gift of it all, and how many people fit under that umbrella. There's so much to be, I think, discovered about it. What really kind of piqued my interest in this scene is this idea that if he did it once, could he do it again? And will we see Dick in a season 2 when we go back? That kind of excited me. As much as I don't like Dick, I respect the gift. I think once he gets some wisdom, we'll see what he does. But no, I love this interaction. I thought it was really fun. Again, shout out to this actor. I think he did a great job with Dick. Dick is a troubled person who was battling, I think, with not only his gift, but also, just living his life, not trying to be a credit to his race, really not worrying about that at all, just really about himself. I'm over here, I was abused, so now I'm this. I'd really be interested to see how he develops, or maybe what the journey looked like at his starting days at the Overlook. I'd be interested to see that before the events of The Shining. I think that could be kind of cool. He definitely needs we need black shows. This would be a perfect one. Give us that.
Yeah. And we would have to have him have a separate show, because if we wait for the next season after the next season or whatever, we're going to keep going back 27 years. So Dick wouldn't even have any reason to really be there or be of a certain age to be in Derry. So I don't know. I was like, man, this is nice. This is nice. Thank you so much, Jay Boogan. When PW saw that black hand, I screamed. He's like, what the earth? He said, earth? What the hell? Not in my Caucasian home. Get this out of here, ho. And who you calling Bob? I say, this is funny. And I like this because Pennywise is supposed to be funny, but sometimes they let the funny and the actual humor take over what should be menacing. I think they got it really 50-50 here in the show. When all else fails, just kill Daniel, because we ain't going to kill nobody else. I say, what? Why we kill Daniel? This was cheap to me. I don't care. Leave your hate comments in the chat. I thought this was so cheap, especially when we had already kind of spared his life already. He already had his brush with death and he was saved. To get here and is that. Now look at here. I did not want to see a gaggle of black folks die. I just thought that we would get more jeopardy, of course. And since we aren't going to see them again, anybody who wasn't a staple of the book or for the films to go, oh, okay, we know Dick survives, we know Leroy survives, we know Will survives. Anybody else outside of that, I thought it was up and it was up. And then, of course, at that point, we know Marge survives, but I thought everyone outside of that, meaning Lily, hell, even Ronnie, Hank could have left. Hank, um, Rose, it was kind of up for them. I thought it was like the cheap choice to go with Tanyel. And I just didn't really have as much stock. Shout out to Indigenous Bay, but I didn't really have any stock in whether he lived or died, so it didn't impact me as much. So that was that. Then we get the uselessness. Oh my goodness. I appreciated Francis getting his comeuppance, because who the hell did you think you were? He was like, yes, Pennywise, I, Francis, I, the Francis, come forward and unleash you on to the public. You may go on and pillage and forage. I grant you access, open sesame. Francis, who the hell do you think you are? Who did you think you were? Like, I'm setting you free. Yes, I have the power. Pennywise said, how? Get your... What did you really think this was? I like that he almost like, you know what? Wait a minute, I know that smell. I never forget a smell. I know who you are. Let me go and snack on you for old time's sake, especially for talking to me outside of your neck, like you granted me any power and freedom to do whatever. I come and go as I please. And Francis gets got. Francis needed to die. He didn't. He didn't serve anybody any purpose. I really wanted to have at least one more interaction between Rose and Francis, because, like I said, we spent some time there too, and I don't feel like we got any closure. And after a little bit, Rose was a little piece of giving up. I don't know. I know she wasn't, but she just didn't help as much as I thought she could. And then after that, we have the crusade of passing along the dagger. It says, son, I can't do it. I'm shot. You got to make your way over there. We're doing that. But in the midst of the kids trying to get the dagger there, the assist from the parents was weak as hell. First, it was late. We have, guns down. It's like, don't nobody move. Let us know where the dagger is. Where's your son? Where are the kids? And they're just sitting there for so long. And then they have to have this like unison signal, like, okay, now we act. Y'all could have been done this. Like, what are you? It was just so much time being wasted doing nothing. And I'm like, your children need you. They need you. Pennywise, he's unstuck. He's awake. Now, granted, Pennywise was taking his sweet time skating down at the roller rink like he was sweetness and girl, I said Pennywise. Pennywise was having a good time. Ain't nobody stop me. I'm gonna make it beyond that point, and y'all can't do nothing about it. But you guys didn't know that. The reactions were just late. Charlotte dropped her gun on the ground. Hank was just yelling, ran out of. I was like, what? I don't know. It was like organized chaos. And then they tried to have this one like Trump triumphant. All right, Rose is gonna fight. Hank's gonna fight. Leroy and Dick. Now we can finally, like, we're standing up to the man. It almost felt like they were trying to save face from the behavior that we saw this entire season, especially from our brothers. This ain't enough. This ain't enough, and it was late, baby. It was late. Just the direction and the behavior in the scene, it didn't flow as greatly as I wanted it to give us an explanation as to why Pennywise ain't sliced and diced and eat every single person they're walking, because he had ample time to. He just chose to be careless and not give a damn when this should have been of the most urgency, because I know my life is in jeopardy in another 27 years and those losers and whatever. No, it was just messing around and everybody was late as hell. I don't know how to feel about that. Ashley, how did you feel about these late, delayed fight or flight responses?
Penny, has a flair for the dramatic, and he likes to play with his food. And also, it's like, does he know the outcome of every situation before he enters it? His knowledge base is really what's gonna behoove me, right? So because then you have to think, well, is this all by design? Is this intentional? He already knew it was gonna happen. Like, is he anyway? But as far as the scene, I'm not mad at it. I think after the black spot, they said, I think the director was like, we can't kill no more blacks. 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 They will cancel us, is what I think they felt about it. As far as Dexter Daddy, This is the personification, the full embodiment of what white supremacy looks like, in my opinion.
It was good.
That entitlement, that level of expectation,
Audacity.
entitlement, audacity. The fact that you're gonna go up to him, yeah, you're good now, Pennywise. Like, yeah, I run this. Remember, like, yeah. And the fact that y'all sit and really built this whole thing on the backs of these babies. You saw them babies hanging there like Dementors, and was still waiting on there to bust a cap in Leroy when you saw his ass come across the mist. Pissed me off so bad, but yeah, he deserved every bit of that beheading that he got from Penny in that moment. Yeah, I remember you. I smell you, friend. What do you think you're doing? If you do, he didn't even get the words out. I said, get him, P-Dub. Get him, P-Dub. I liked it.
Stop that. No. So what is this fist, Francis? You stop that.
Dexter Daddy be freaking for real. And then as far as Hank just screaming to the top of his lungs in the mist, pissed me off so bad. What are you good for? You couldn't even take the bullet? You couldn't have jumped in front of the bullet?
Nothing. Nothing.
It took them 20 minutes to get across that frozen lake. I was so aggravated by the whole thing.
That's what I'm saying. And I understand, like, we've lost a lot, but we can't, be held accountable for who's here in the end. There was no reason, and I don't want Rodney to lose their father, but there was no reason for Hank to walk away from this situation unscathed. Why? Okay. Why did we have that? Why did we have an interaction with Lily? Why did we have something? I needed some things. And it was just no. It's like, no, we killed all those people then. And then we cop out and we take Tanya? All he ever did was have long flowing locks. He never hurt nobody. I don't know. It was just messed up. It was just messed up. Then you have Rose crying in the streets. Thank you so much. Where the hell was Charlotte, Rose, and Lee?
On the bus, on that little milk truck, whatever they
She was just sitting there. Oh, it was just so delayed. Oh my God, I think we should do something now. Oh Lord, I'm gonna throw my gun down. I don't need that. Leroy. I was like, Charlotte, I thought you was a revolutionary. How you gonna be a Black Panther, Charlotte? Brother Malcolm wouldn't. Charlotte, how we gonna be over there chilling with Huey P and them if you dropping weapons, Bookie? Pick it up. We need that. I don't know. They were really trying so hard to redeem Leroy, Hank, and Dick this last episode. Leroy being fearless was essentially for nothing. I thought he was going to be a bigger part of the story. I mean, things didn't go the way I think any of it. And it wasn't bad. I think it was pretty good for what it was, but for the buildup that we got, probably those first 3 episodes, this is not how I expected it to pan out. And even here at this moment, the focus was really on son talking to father and them having their intimate moment. And you don't have to be me, son, because Will said, I'm scared. I'm scared, Daddy. So it's okay. I'm not you. You don't have to be me. I don't want you to compare yourself to me. I want you to be who you are. I want you to be who you are, son, and go over there because you could do it. That's what this scene was for. Leroy and the fearless. I don't think that was executed as well as it could have been, because I think throughout the entire series, since we've met Leroy, it was supposed to be kind of Pennywise and everything surrounding him, chipping away at that to the point that we kind of see what we get here. But Leroy was just so inconsistent with his love and his fatherhood and his husband. And I was like, where's Leroy the husband, Leroy the father? We just couldn't tell and really couldn't separate the two to really be in his favor a lot of the time. But yeah, I don't care. My nigga returned. My nigga Rich returned. I'm gonna tell you, I knew it was happening. I don't know why we didn't get no action from our elder indigenous. I was like, she's there too. I was waiting on her to like do something or have an interaction with Rose or take Tanya to the other side or something. She was just there. She was just present. But we have the kids struggling. I was like, oh my God, we are in this scene for a very long time. It really turned. I was like, okay, I've never watched Lord of the Rings. I ain't watched none of them films. I even get the reference, and I ain't never seen it. I was like, this feels very Lord of the Rings and very like fantasy and fantastical in that way. And we have to get this there, and it's hard because it's controlling, and now it's will, and we have to do this together. That was that. But we're struggling because the parents just couldn't. All Hank could do was yell from outside the club. He couldn't really move. He couldn't do nothing, you know. Hank could just yell. He gonna yell at Pennywise, and hopefully that'll stop him. It was down bad. I do really appreciate all of the transitions that we got here in this short amount of time from Pennywise. He was everything but a child of God out there on that snow. He transformed many a times. I like that they were using the budget in that way versus all of that malarkey that was surrounding the scene. But we couldn't do it on our own. Rich shows up, and it's a very impactful moment, not just for the kids, but for Doc as well. Doc just had to find himself and his purpose. It's like, you know what? If that little boy can come back and show up the way he did, I, serve a better purpose than, leaving this earth. Let me continue on. This was really great. I love that we just didn't ice Rich out. Rich was the best thing of the damn show. I really enjoyed Rich, and it's not just in a sacrificial way, just what he means. And I love when a character does when I say, okay, Rich, you back from the dead. Your spirit, bro. If you don't give Pennywise the bird, I swear he did it, y'all. I was like, oh, that's why you my dog. That's why you my dog. Say, bitch, I'm going to have my friends home. I appreciate it. I loved it. I just like what it represents. And of course, the kids reminisce on, did you feel a little something extra? I did too. I feel like it was Rich. That was nice. Actually, how did you feel about this and Rich popping back up to help his friend?
We needed my baby Rich. We needed the night. I was so good. I was so glad to see him. He's so precious. He was so angelic anyway. So it absolutely made sense that he would be the person they needed to embed the dragon glass honey in the tree. I said, look at Rich. Got to say it today again because y'all are useless and the parents are useless too. Like, damn. Can he rest in peace? I guess not. But it was good to see him slipping and sliding on the ice, getting over to his friends. And I love that this kind of gave Dick a renewed sense of hope, I think, as far as what he could be and what he can do going forward. So, I mean, it was very redemptive. I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, this was a really good send off for me, and really Pennywise coming to terms with, I could have really made it past the border. You were never gonna make it past doing this and shimmying. Like, I thought he was finna get his Dame Dash on the way though. He was very also. What are you doing, Penny? He just over there dancing. All in the videos, all on the record, dancing. What are you doing? Do you want to go be a terror or not? We don't get over there in time. We say our little 1-2, do at least 5 transitions, and we're blown away. Visually, that was, better for me. And us having those stones connect, that was fine. But the best thing about this was Rich. I appreciate this. This was a Rich decision. This was a Rich decision. I was like, oh, are the other 3 that we lost in the beginning, they gonna pop out too? It's like, no, it's just Rich. And I think that's because he didn't get caught in anybody's deadlights or get eaten by Pennywise. He died via sacrifice. But we buried Richard G. We come on down to the funeral. I was like, oh, now y'all want to show Rich parents. Now we get to see these parents in mourning. Oh man. This was a nice service down at the funeral. This was very, very nice. I appreciated it. I liked whatever the camera work was here and the effects that they put on Richie to give him kind of an undead look, but he still had his presence and he's there holding Will and the kids are crying. I say, that's y'all doing Ronnie hair? Okay. We had to go to the funeral. Somebody had to die for y'all to do. It's fine. It don't matter.
She had her twist out, Tyra.
Please, actually, don't. This was nice. This was nice. I like that Dick was kind of transitioning into Doc from The Shining. We have him meet up over there with Leroy. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go on down. Someplace called the Overlook. They're going to let me come on over and be a cook. How hard could it be? It's going to be hell. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be a lot, but it's something that we want to see. But that in combination with what we got here and he, letting the parents know that his presence was still there. He'll always be with you. That hand you feel on your shoulder. That's your son. That's Rich. This was just really, really nice. And it's getting me more invested into Dick. I want to go with him. I want to know where we're going and what we're going to see. I don't know who they expected to kind of be the standout here or would they want to do a spinoff, but I think it would be worth it. I would watch the show. Baby, when Marge got up there and said, I knew Rich for a month, a whole month, and that baby gave his life for you. I knew him for a month, and I learned so much in that month. I was like, wow, this was a nice service. Ashley, how did you feel about this?
Yeah, it was good to see that Rich got people. That he wasn't just out here living on his own at 12 years old. I was glad we got to see his mom and dad. And like I said, I really feel like this is redemptive for Dick. I loved that he got the opportunity to give the parents a modicum of peace. Like, no, Richie, and whenever you feel it, that's going to be him, and he's here, and he's watching, out for you. I thought that was a beautiful moment. Again, these babies know how to emote. And it can be hard, I think, to deliver a performance, especially with no words. But when you see a Ronnie sitting there in a will and they're grieving the loss of their friend, it was palpable. You could feel these babies' pain in the moment. I thought it was so well done. This scene, I think it was a beautiful send off for Richie. And I never thought I'd say the day, but I kind of like Marge now. I kind of like her. When it's all said and done, Tyra.
Like I said, I needed some more time with Marge. I just don't feel like an arc with her, or she was just. I didn't even feel. We never felt like, especially you wanted Marge to die immediately. She just didn't feel important. So to get here and it's like, yeah, and you're Richie's mom. Like, okay, that would have been nice to kind of feel before we got to this moment. And y'all, I really appreciated the fro. I don't know with certain shows whether it's, we don't have stylists on set, because you know how they do sometimes with black hair. I just didn't know where the intent was, but I was like, oh, it's not a whole thread coming through the whole show. Y'all gonna do some rough and stuff Afro puffs down at the funeral? Okay, so y'all could have been doing some stylistic things with her hair, with her natural hair. Don't be picky. I just be looking at things like that. That's just me. But leaving the funeral, getting on down. Okay. Irritates my soul. Irritates my soul. Charlotte, what? Okay. They try so hard to like make these two, this couple, this marriage appealing to us. I think they lost us long ago, not just with their marriage. That was one thing with them kind of being it just didn't feel like they were compatible. That was that. Then they become little subpar parents, and at times we feel like they don't really care about Will. But after everything we've gone through, we got our baby back out the deadlights. We got our husband back out the deadlights. He got shot. There's no reason to stay here. There's no reason to stay here. There's no reason to stay here. Now, Rose had me fucked up. Okay? Absolutely. You op. I knew I didn't like Rose. I was trying to find redeeming qualities with Rose. Baby, you want to be over there with your own, protecting your own, and whatever happens in Derry after that 27-year break, that's just what happens. We're just trying to maintain the barrier. Cool. It wasn't too much of a meeting of the minds. It wasn't too much of a fellowship, some type of sisterhood, brotherhood, unity. No, nothing. There was no transference of real information. All you ever did was tell me to keep my son close, and I felt like that was vague as hell. But the moment we lose something, and we lose Tanya, and we feel like we need to get ghosts, because I'm tired. I'm ready to go on to greener pastures. You know what? We need to come together and keep Derry safe. Girl, what? We ain't got to do nothing. We ain't do nothing before. We wasn't doing nothing this entire season. There was no we. We were over there, and you were over there, which is cool. Keep that same energy here. It felt like Rose suffered some loss. Frances wasn't who she thought, this is just all too much. I don't think I can bear anymore. I like to hit y'all with a proposition to stay here and warn and keep that barrier connected. And yeah, now we can have some camaraderie. Girl, you don't get to do that now. You don't get to do that now. I didn't like it. I felt like it was fake. I was so happy when they said no. I was like, maybe we're going to get to something And maybe, I don't know, just maybe something else led to us later seeing Leroy and Derry. No, we're in the car. We're packed. And I got packed immediately because Charlotte opens her big mouth. You know what? Maybe we should stay. Maybe this is our quest, our journey to go on together, since we both have these savior complexes or whatever the hell it is. What? And then they even try to have a little kiki about the sheep and the herding. You know, you the one on the farm, and we just gonna be hunky dory. This doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know. Maybe just that little span of moment that we met old Elder Leroy, he was just mad that day. How do we get from us, we're gonna protect Derry and we're gonna stay here and we're gonna keep Will here, to Will getting over there wherever he was, New York City, I don't know, dying, possibly getting on drugs, and the fire spreading there at 30. And then we get down here with this disgruntled ass Leroy acting like the whole world was taken from him and you need to shoot first and ask questions later, Mike. It's kill to be killed out here. This wasn't given warm, hunky-dory father. This wasn't given protecting Derry. This was giving someone who was taking over like all the other residents of Derry. And you stayed here for what? This pissed me off. I didn't like this. Once again, it felt like they weren't putting themselves first. They weren't putting their sons first. And Rose was an op. And it wasn't consistent with the Leroy and the Will that we get later on. I don't know. Ashley?
Yeah, I told you Rose was an op. I told you she was an op completely. Like, there's no way that you know what your people have been through, what you've been through personally. You just lost your nephew, and you say, but y'all, even though your son just went through this trauma, I think y'all should keep the house. I think y'all should keep up the spirit. Even though my tribe is going to reconvene, you know, and they'll be watching another 27 years. You'll just be here on the front line. So, yeah, go ahead and do that. And the fact that Charlotte really did ruin Leroy's life and Will's, I think, I'm putting it all at her feet. And like Leroy said before, you do this every place we go. This is you. The people outside, Pennywise outside on the street, it's because of you, Charlotte. You and your imaginary activism. Because I ain't seen him yet. She done sent Hank and Ronnie and his mama to nowhere. Because ain't nobody to meet, Charlotte. You ain't got no job. There's no connection. You don't know Dr. King. You don't know Brother Minister Malcolm, baby. There's no way. Talk about, yeah, so when you get there, call this number because they'll be there to meet you, Hank. There is nobody going to be there to meet you, Hank. You better figure out a way to get it out the mud because Charlotte knows no one. I don't believe it. As far as leaving your family here, I honestly think this is the perfect breeding ground for the Leroy that we see all these years later. He lived an unfulfilled life where he sacrificed his wants and his desires and his dreams to settle for Derry at the behest of his raggedy wife at this point. Charlotte, I don't trust you. And again, it's sad what y'all do to Will. And I hope we don't ever have to see it exactly. Not like, play for blow, at least. I don't need to see you a year out still in Derry raising Will to be miserable. I blame this squarely on Charlotte. I think Leroy was still ready to go. I think when Rose made that offer, Charlotte said, well, maybe. I think it's a recipe for disaster. And I think unrequited dreams over time can make you bitter and angry. And I think that's the Leroy that we saw who lived a life he never wanted to live. He didn't want to be there for real. He did it for his wife and this idea of peace and, I guess, family. I don't know what they thought was going to happen in 27 years, with their baby. Because, that was just going to make him a grown man at that time. I think it's sick and sad. I think these are the new old blacks. I've never seen anybody who would ever do this. You just endured the trauma of your life. Charlotte, you say you was an activist in the South, and you go through all this. You witness a massacre of 26 black people in a black spot. You fight an extraterrestrial deity, right? You do all of that. Your baby see him suspended in the damn deadlights calling you, talking about he want dark meat, and you say you're going to stay here on a Jeep for him?
You should stay.
Yeah, and it didn't even take Rose nothing. I said, did Rose give them some tea before she left or something? Like, what convinced them?
She
There's
just
nothing
asked.
that would have made me. And then
Rose said ally to ally.
Hell nah, get out of here. Rose the op. She can't be trusted.
I knew I didn't like Rose. I knew it. When I don't like somebody, it's valid. I just didn't like this. You just didn't keep this type of energy. I mean, we had more of a warm embrace, all about Francis and all our old childhood and remember when. Oh, can you tell me anything, Rose? Because Leroy keeps his cards close to his chest. He's not going to tell me anything. Is there anything I should know? Just keep your son close. That's it. That's all we ever got. And then I guess we're supposed to just suspend all of that because when push came to shove, she was willing to help Hank and, Charlotte at that moment. Like, but that's not how this works, especially to take on something so massive. They have experienced so much trauma in a month span down here in Derry, and you're going to stay? Okay. Okay. I'm just leave it alone. Poor Will. I was like, at least Will looks happy to stay. I don't know. But getting into Will being happy to stay, I thought this was going to be the reason that he wanted to stay. If Hank was going to go get Ghost or be a fugitive or whatever, I'm like, who are you now, Hank? Are you not you're a fugitive, right? I was like, are they going to leave Ronnie behind in Derry with Leroy? Like, what is that going to look like? No, we have them, kind of driving off into the sunset. And it's like, we're free. I like the reference, the two little candies in her mouth, because it's, I think I don't know what part in that first episode I remember her having them. So it's like, we're kind of back to where we started and my dad and I were okay. We have a first kiss here. We have a kiss. I was like, oh, look at the babies. Very, very goodbye. It was like, yeah, you know what happens, what they say about Derry, when you leave, you forget. It's like, don't forget me. I was like, can we get like some breadcrumbs? Is Ronnie's Mike's mom? Like, the people want to know. I think we sat here for a guapa time wondering if they walk off into the sunset together as adults and have little Mikey. We didn't get that type of confirmation. It was just, you know what, give me some pen and paper. I'm a writer, and hopefully if I'm writing her, she doesn't forget. But Hank and Grandma, we gone. And that's just that. Ashley, how did you feel about this?
I'll say no, that's not going to be Mike's mama because they have no address. And whatever
Yeah.
contact information Charlotte gave, it's not a real person or a real place. I don't think they'll ever know unless Ronnie, sends something back, a flare or something. I don't know. I don't see that. I mean, it would be cute and like romantic, I guess. But really, we don't hear any discussion of mom at all. So no, I'm gonna say no for now. Hey, maybe they'll come out with something later and
Yeah.
give it. But I don't even think this is real freedom. If Hank is banking his freedom on this contact that Charlotte gave him,
Well,
I
they
don't
said
think
he
he
faked his
will.
death because they thought he burned in the fire, and nobody's heard or kind of
No.
seen from him since. So maybe that just gives him some type of cover. And
Mm-mm.
Charlotte said them connects to silent. Just go on down. Tell them Charlotte sent you. Big Charlotte sent you. Okay, go on
Mhm.
down there. Tell them Big C sent you, and they're gonna take care of you because I got them connects. Sister Charlotte.
His, his mama got sense at least, so I feel better knowing that at least she's there for a couple more years with Ronnie. Because I don't trust Hank to be a father. I really don't. He's useless.
I don't know. I'm like, we're Sean. Just don't go get no more elder white tea coochie, Hank. Just be safe. Hopefully, we move completely different because we know what's at stake and we don't want anything of the sort to occur again. Because you almost, talking about Pennywise, you almost took your ass down to Shawshank. Ugh. But actually, how did you? I thought the kiss was appropriate.
It
I
was too
thought
long.
it was too long. I thought it was sweet. Lil Will
No,
ain't know what to do with himself. He's like, oh my God, I'm gonna remember that. Oh, got my first
no,
kiss. I thought it was
no,
appropriate for the age, and it was
no.
no. I said,
No, it was her grabbing the back of his head. I was like, this is not that. What we needed was a My Girl, a Beta Sultanfuss, and Thomas J. That's all that needed. We didn't need all that. Y'all, what are you holding the back of his neck for, little girl?
I,
No.
I didn't
I
know
was
that she
like,
felt
okay,
the
I
back
was
of
like,
his
that's
head.
enough. That's enough. The first little that's cute. Let's leave it there. We don't need no baby.
I didn't see her grab the back of his neck. Actually, maybe
Go
I'll bring
back,
it back one
rewatch it.
day. I
Rewatch
didn't
it.
see.
I said, where did you learn that? Good girl, what you
Oh
been
no.
watching?
Well, it was the same energy as old Daddy Hank. You got a new gentleman friend. You got a gentleman caller. What are you talking about? They're not dating. She's not being courted, Hank. What do you say? Sure will be good to know. If I leave this earth today or tomorrow, a nice young man like yourself is looking after baby girl. They about to go down and get married, Hank? What are you doing? I thought it was sweet. And I'm glad they're going off with their family intact, even though Hank got on my goddamn nerves and I felt like he could have got lost. It's good that we don't have to have Ronnie lose both of her parents. I'll go off with that. Oh Lord, yeah, that deep hug Hank gave that hug Hank gave Charlotte, like, oh my God, I don't know what I would have done without you. Thank you so much for helping me, because I was just useless. I wasn't gonna go nowhere. I wasn't gonna do nothing. I wasn't gonna do nothing the whole show. But we get on down here with these losers because we can't finish it out. We got to know what happened with Kirsch. We got to know. We pretty much know for the most part. But Kirsch saw them deadlights, got politely locked up in Jupiter Hills, and they didn't let her out again. They didn't let her out at all. I was like, man, this would have been so cool if we could have tied Beverly to Lily. That would have been nice, but I guess that would have been too corny to try to. They were like, okay, well, at that point, just tie all of the lucky kids to the kids that we've met here in this season or so, whatever. Maybe that would have just been too much. It was nice. It's a nice little tie-in to let us know what's about to happen, because it's kind of a year before we meet the losers, and of course we come back 27 years later as adults and we take them out. But Ashley, how did you feel about this?
I thought this was a cute tie-in. I thought it was a cute tie-in. I was like, oh, look at that. And I was like, oh, but look at her mama. Damn, like, that's traumatic. Seeing her hang there in Kirsch. Oh, nothing really dies in Derry. I'm like, could you make her more gothful or like the Wicked Witch of the East? I didn't enjoy her. I don't enjoy Elder Kirsch, but I mean, we had to go here, I guess, to wrap it up, to tie a bow on it. I thought it was, when people honor the original stories and all of that, it's, I think it's a credit to the author and the fandom and all of that. So I respect it. And it really does set up the events for, chapter 1. So I thought it was fine. Now, like you said, if it had been Lily up there with all black hair, like, that would have been really cool to see. But it is what it is.
They say we can't make all the kids related, y'all. That's not what this is. It's just Big Richie and old Mike. But other than that, it just would have been like a little cool tie-in. Even, we were spending time in Lily's home. It looked very Beverly Marsh adjacent. Just those breadcrumbs we thought we were picking up for absolutely no reason. And he was just tying it back to Kirsch in this moment, like, yeah, because she came running like, I know exactly who this is. It's giving lineage. No, you're just here as just the old woman stealing them deadlights. Okay. But I appreciate it. Maybe want to go watch the movies. Try to continue it on. It's a nice tie-in. I like this. This was kind of perfect. But getting into, the potential and the ending thoughts for season 2 possibilities, because we're going to jump. Now, Andy is down there keeping everything very, very tight-lipped. This is all he had to share. We can only say the stuff that's already known, like it's in 1935, 27 years before season 1. It involves the massacre of the Bradley gang. I don't know who that is from the books. It takes place during the Depression in Derry. That's going to be good. What they look like. Derry stay thriving. And there are some new characters and some characters from this season as well, but younger versions of them. So that definitely means we're going to get back into Kirsch. Kirsch is coming back. The younger version of her.
Rose.
Rose. Maybe Frances. Maybe just a little piece of Frances. Everybody else, I don't think we would see. Or it was probably somebody in the background, somebody's parent, that we really didn't spend too much time on. But definitely Kirsch, Rose, and maybe Frances. Ashley, what are the potentials of the next season of Derry? What do you want to see?
Look, like I said, if Dick has the ability to infiltrate again, I'd be very curious, and I think it'd be cool to see him in the next season come back, at least playing in Penny's head, or seeing what he sees, or maybe getting sucked into something. That would be really cool. I don't know. I think this is fresh.
But Dick would be like baby little Doc, right?
No, this would be present time him, but going there. You know what I mean? Because he was the same age when he went back in his head back then, right? He was the same age. So I'm just saying, I think it could be cool if they could somehow weave him in there. I would love to see him again, especially if we're not going to get a spinoff anytime soon of just Dick. But yeah, I know nothing about the gang or what 1935 is really going to look like. I don't assume we'll see any blacks though. So I'm saying, I'm hoping.
No,
I'm
please
hoping
don't.
we get, you know, like I said, if we can get Dick in that capacity, in the Shine capacity, he's present day, but he's back in his head. I don't know. However they have to do it. But I mean, I think it'll be cool just to see. I'm interested to see where they take the series. I need them to do better than they did with The Last of Us over there on HBO Max. Come through, please, Mr. Muschietti and your wife, and do something amazing with season 2. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do.
I mean, it's pretty much the same for me. I want to see Penny raining down terror in the Great the Depression of Derry. That's going to be interesting to look at. I think aesthetically it's going to look really really nice because I appreciated every moment that we went back to the 1930s in this season. I thought it was done really really well. I want to know how it's gonna look. Um, I can't wait to see the scares and what he does then with all of this. Who knows what's going on and everything looking so bleak. Like you really finna come through on the people like this, Pennywise, and the bleakness of the depression. I don't know anything about the Bradley gang. I'm assuming when we have that wonderful intro, we ain't gonna hear that bop for some time, y'all. The bop is gone. So I'll be special and I'll be. The bop is gone with a smile and a ribbon in my hair. It's done for a little bit. But we have that whatever that animation, that moment where it's a gang like shooting, like it's in the street, and like they have all these guns and maybe tying back into Shaw and that car that they pulled up, you know, way back when, whatever massacre that occurred there. I look forward to that. But yeah, I think it's gonna be good. I really want to know how they're gonna make us fall in love all over again with new kids or new people or whomever. Because you got to start from jump now.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be anybody there that we know. It's not gonna be any tie-ins to, oh yeah, well this is Mike and this is Richie's mom. And no. We're not gonna know anybody. And please don't try to put Francis in my face. Don't try to put young baby Shaw in my face. I don't want to see that man. Rose, I'm gonna let Rose make it. We're gonna see Rose. We're probably gonna see Shaw, but they left a poor taste in my mouth in this season. But we can't hate on the kids once we get there. But y'all, that was the episode. This has been great. Thank you guys so much for supporting. We hope that you've had a wonderful time with these Monday discussions of Derry, and hopefully you return when the show returns. Ashley, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Thank you guys so much for coming through and supporting the lives. We appreciate you so much. Don't forget, I think we're doing Breaking Bad tomorrow, guys. So make sure you are there for the watch of Breaking Bad tomorrow, the live reaction. That should be really fun. Thank you guys.
Yeah, y'all heard what the lady said. Be sure to drop down, give your commentary about our commentary down below. Hype the video if you will. That's always an option if you have it. Hype the video so other people can join and laugh at us and all that good stuff. But yeah, we will definitely see you guys next time for more discussions of whatever we talk about next. Y'all have a good night.